Dynamic nature of ecosystems. Reflect. Look at the image of the rainforest to the right. What makes up its ecosystem? Is it just the living things, or do the non-living things count as well? An ecosystem consists of all the living and non-living things in a particular area. Look again at the rainforest picture. You can see a lot of biotic or living things, but you can also see abiotic or non-living things. Some biotic examples are trees, ferns, and moss, and some abiotic examples are soil and stone. What other organisms would you expect to find in this ecosystem that you cannot see in this picture? It is important to note that an ecosystem's abiotic factors such as temperature, wind, and annual precipitation type and the amount may not be visible. What do you think? Do ecosystems always stay the same? Because ecosystems consist of living things that can change, it makes sense that the ecosystem itself can change over time. For example, if a certain population experiences a significant transformation, it will affect the entire ecosystem. Look at the deciduous forest ecosystem depicted in an energy pyramid on the left. What do you think would happen to the ecosystem if the foxes were removed? Would the population of mice increase or decrease? What about the bald eagles? Would their population increase or decrease? Without foxes to hunt mice, the population of mice would increase. On the other hand, without foxes to prey on, the eagle population would begin to decline. Now look further down the energy pyramid. Do you think the absence of the fox would have any impact on the insect population? What about the plant population? Any change in a biological component of an ecosystem can lead to shifts in all populations. Reflect. Ecosystems are not built in a day. The dynamic, interdependent assemblages of species in the environments that make up an ecosystem develop over many years through a process called ecological succession. Ecosystems have living, biotic, and non-living abiotic components. The biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem are interdependent. As each component changes, the nature of the other interacting components. What would happen in a city park or a garden were left unattended with no mowing, weeding, water, or any other human interference? At first, weeds would grow and replace the cultivated plants that may have been present. What would this area look like after a month? What about after a year or a decade? Ecological succession. The species that make up the ecosystem change over time. In the park pictured above that is no longer tended, weeds have replaced cultivated plants. Other plants may eventually replace these weeds. This process is called succession. When the process of succession begins in an area that is bare of living things, it is called primary succession. Primary succession is a slow process because the area in which it is occurring is barren. The first organisms that are able to grow in such a location are called pioneer species and must be able to grow on bare rock. Okay, so we have changes from a pioneer to climax community. Bare rock is exposed due to some type of disturbance, such as a retreating glacier or volcanic eruption. No soil is present. Pioneer species, such as lichens and mosses, establish themselves on the rock substrate. Pioneer species die and decay, providing soil and nutrients for other plant species, such as shrubs and small trees. Small and large trees begin to grow and the community reaches an equilibrium or balance. This results in the climax community. Look out. Ecosystem disruptions may be natural catastrophic events such as heavy rainfall, floods, droughts, forest fires, tornadoes, and hurricanes. Geologic events such as volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and earthquakes also disrupt ecosystems. Changes to physical or biological components in an ecosystem can directly affect the populations of living things. The series of changes the ecosystem goes through after the area is disrupted or damaged is called secondary succession. What do you think? Disruptions to any physical component of an ecosystem can lead to a population shifts as well. What do you think happened to the ecosystems in the pictures below? How do you think these changes affected the populations in each ecosystem? Once an ecosystem is disturbed, do you think it will ever recover and return to its original balance? Absolutely. Ecosystems are amazingly resilient. Consider the pictures above. Both the tornado and the volcanic eruption explosion have killed many organisms. Over time, the plants and animals would begin to return. Unfortunately, people sometimes cause disasters as well. In April 2010, an oil tanker, Deepwater Horizon, exploded, sending millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. This oil spill is the worst human-made ecological disaster that has ever occurred. The Gulf Coast ecosystems are still recovering from the disaster. How do you think the Gulf Coast ecosystem has changed? How do you think it has exemplified resilience?